Okay, here's your SIG ticket for problem number 2 for your 4th attempt. I'll do problems A through D, and you do E and F, and have this all completed to bring it in. Solving these equations, first thing you need to do is to distribute correctly. So in front of these first set of parentheses, you'll notice this 3, but we got to grab the negative also. The 6x is not a part of that, so we're just going to bring it down. Take negative 3 and multiply it by the first thing inside the parentheses, which is that 2x, giving you negative 6x. And then take that negative 3 and multiply it by the second thing inside those parentheses, which is this minus 7. So think of it as negative 3 times negative 7, which is a positive 21. And then the parentheses are gone. Bring down that equal sign, jump over to here. 7 times 8 is 56. And 7 times negative x is negative 7x. Again, no more parentheses. You should combine like terms first before you start moving things. So on the left side of this equal sign, you'll notice 6x minus 6x. Those happen to cancel, leaving just the 21. Then, since the x's are on the right side, we can move plain numbers to the left side. So we're going to subtract 56 to move it. 56 minus 56 is 0. That's why we did it. It just leaves the negative 7x. The 21 minus 56 is negative 35. At this point, we need to get rid of the number in front of the x, so we divide both sides. These negative 7's cancel, leaving just the x behind. If this is a whole number, I want you to make it a whole number, and if it is a fraction, go ahead and leave it as an improper fraction here. But negative 35 divided by negative 7 is positive 5, so we'll change that one. On B, we have a proportion over here, so we cross multiply or butterfly or whatever you've been taught. Here we're going to take that numerator and that denominator and multiply them together. So 8 times 2x is 16x, and we're going to set that equal to these two multiplied together. There's your butterfly if you were taught that. You just have to make sure you distribute, so 7 times the 3x also has to be 7 times 2. So distributing in our head just to save some time and space, you would get that. If you didn't want to do that in your head, then you would have wrote 7 with the parentheses 3x plus 2 and then distributed on your next step. So I have no terms to combine, so I'm going to start to move things. We'll put the x's on the left side since that 14 is already there. We'll move all of them to this side, giving us negative 5x here, and the 14 still remains. Last step is to divide by the number in front of the x. And since that is not a whole number, it is totally fine to leave it as improper. If you wish to punch it on your calculator, you certainly may, but it's not required. Let's move on here to C. And I'll do one more of these, and then you could finish up the rest here. I think this would be fine. Again, we distribute the negative 3. Be cautious. Don't be tempted to combine those. You're not allowed to combine that 12 with the minus 3. We got to distribute the negative 3 first. Bring down the 12. Don't use it. Negative 3 times 4x is negative 12x. Negative 3 times negative 2 is positive 6. Bring down your equals, bring down that x. Here's a negative symbol, which is just like negative 1, so you got to distribute a negative 1 across these two guys. So negative 1 times 6 is negative 6. Negative 1 times negative 5x is positive 5x. If you combine like terms before you start moving things, that's a safe thing to do. So that 12 plus that 6 is 18 with the minus 12x. And this x and this 5x can also be combined. If you add them together, you get 6x. Now you can start moving things. So I'm going to move this 12x over to this side by adding 12x. And I'm going to move this minus 6 over to this side by adding 6. Kind of doing two steps at once just to save some space on your paper. That leaves 24 from 18 plus 6. And I see 18x. Barely read my writing there. Last step is to divide. 24 over 18 does simplify, but it is not a whole number, so I don't need it to be simplified. If you care to, you certainly may. Otherwise, leave it just like that. All right, do the remaining 3. Bring this whole sheet completed in, and you can take the 4th attempt for problem number 2.